You and Gary both referred to what happened to Malala, and I was reading with great sorrow, actually, an article by my New York Times colleague Declan Walsh, who would not have been the author of the editorial in question, by the way, about where he was speaking with a young internet entrepreneur in Rawalpindi, the city that you were born in, and who would sound like the modernizing youth of Pakistan that you referred to in your lecture. But in speaking with Declan, he said, well, maybe this wasn't the Taliban at all. For all we know, this was an American conspiracy in order to make the Taliban look bad. Do you think that when you look at that and that sort of the cynicism and the distrust, can America play an honest broker role, or can America help at this point when, after years of letting people down, as well as after the incursion of the Osama bin Laden raid, our standing in Pakistan is so low?
Well, I agree with it is very low, but partly, unfortunately, it has been self-generated by Pakistan itself. And this kind of confusion that you're talking about is precisely what I wanted to address in this book, that there are numerous false narratives have been set out, over decades. And these are kind of reaching, as the economy falls, as the country is faced with all these insurgencies, as the situation becomes worse, if you like, these conspiracy theories take on an even greater truth, if you like. If you look at Greece today, for example, I mean, the whole rise of these fascist groups in Greece, for example, because of the crisis. I think a lot of what is happening in Pakistan is related to the situation in Pakistan today. I think there's still enormous mistrust. I think two things need to be done. Pakistan needs to correct the political narrative of the last 20 years. The Americans are not to blame for everything that has gone wrong with Pakistan. The majority of blame has to lie with Pakistan's own political decisions over years and years. The Americans did not give birth to the Taliban, as many people think. The Americans did not allow the Taliban to take up residence in Pakistan for decades, as, again, what many people think. So, and many Afghans think, by the way, also, that somehow the Americans are supporting the Taliban because the Americans want to keep control of Afghanistan, and all sorts of weird conspiracies. I think it's very difficult for America right now to play the role of an honest broker. I think it can play a holding game and slowly rebuild links with the military and the political class and the public. But at the same time, I think a lot is going to determine on how the Americans leave Afghanistan. If they leave Afghanistan in the kind of mess that many people fear, then I think American reputation in Pakistan is going to go to hit rock bottom, because the Americans will be blamed for everything that then happens in Afghanistan after that.